TV soap news and spoilers say that on the fateful evening of September 25, 2025, the idyllic community of Beyond the Gates was shattered by a cascade of shocking events that would leave its residents reeling. The once quiet streets, lined with manicured lawns and stately homes, became the stage for a drama that unfolded with the intensity of a Shakespearean tragedy. At the heart of this turmoil were secrets, impulsive decisions, and betrayals that would ripple through the lives of every family in this close-knit enclave. From a whirlwind marriage in Las Vegas to a looming death shrouded in mystery, the stories that emerged from Beyond the Gates that night were nothing short of electrifying. A marriage that shook the foundations. The first tremor to strike Beyond the Gates was the news of Dany and Andre's sudden marriage. In a move that could only be described as reckless, the young couple, fueled by passion and perhaps a few too many cocktails, had eloped to Las Vegas under the neon glow of the Strip. Their union was sealed in a gaudy chapel, presided over by an Elvis impersonator whose sequin jumpsuit gleamed as brightly as the couple's fleeting certainty. Dany, with her fiery spirit and penchant for defying expectations, had always been a wild card in the community. Andre, a charming newcomer with a mysterious past, had swept her off her feet in a matter of weeks. Their whirlwind romance, though intoxicating to them, was a bombshell to everyone else. The news of their nuptials spread like wildfire through Beyond the Gates, igniting a spectrum of reactions. Some neighbors whispered in envy, captivated by the romance of a spontaneous wedding. Others, however, were less enchanted. The elders of the community, particularly those in the influential Dupree family, saw the marriage as a reckless act that threatened the delicate social fabric of their world. Gossip swirled in the local coffee shops and over backyard fences, with speculation ranging from Dany's possible pregnancy to Andre's rumored connections to a shady business deal. The truth, however, was far more complex, and far more devastating. At the center of the storm were Anita and Vernon Dupree, the patriarch and matriarch of the Dupree family, whose influence in Beyond the Gates was unmatched. Anita, with her steely resolve and impeccable reputation, was known for her ability to manage any crisis with grace. Vernon, a retired judge with a commanding presence, was the moral compass of the community. Together, they had weathered countless scandals, but Dany and Andre's rash marriage posed a unique challenge. The couple's union wasn't just a personal decision, it was a public spectacle that threatened to tarnish the Dupree name, as Dany was Anita's niece and the daughter of her late sister. The weight of familial duty pressed heavily on Anita and Vernon as they scrambled to contain the fallout. Anita paced the hardwood floors of their sprawling mansion, her heels clicking with each step as she strategized. "This isn't just about Dany," she said to Vernon, her voice taut with frustration. "This is about our legacy. If we don't handle this carefully, the entire community will question our authority." Vernon, seated in his leather armchair, nodded grimly. He knew the stakes were high. The Duprees had long been the arbiters of propriety in Beyond the Gates, and a scandal of this magnitude could erode their influence overnight. Their mission was clear: they had to control the narrative, appease the community, and, if possible, bring Dany and Andre back into the fold before their impulsive decisions spiraled into chaos. But controlling the damage was no simple task. The community was abuzz with questions. Why had Dany, who had always been fiercely independent, thrown caution to the wind? Was Andre's charm a facade hiding ulterior motives? And most pressing of all, what would this mean for the Dupree family standing in Beyond the Gates? As Anita and Vernon convened emergency meetings with their closest allies, they began to unravel a web of secrets that suggested Dany's marriage was only the tip of the iceberg. A death foretold. While the Duprees grappled with the fallout of the Las Vegas wedding, a darker cloud loomed over Beyond the Gates. Doug, a beloved figure in the community known for his jovial demeanor and tireless volunteer work, was facing a fate that would send shockwaves through the neighborhood. Whispers of his impending death circulated, each rumor more chilling than the last. Unlike the ambiguity surrounding Dany's marriage, the cause of Doug's demise was disturbingly clear to those in the know, and the finger of blame pointed directly at a single individual. Doug had always been the heart of Beyond the Gates. His annual barbecues were legendary, drawing neighbors together with the promise of cold beer, grilled burgers, and his infectious laughter. But beneath his cheerful exterior, Doug had been entangled in a web of secrets that few could have imagined. His recent business dealings had taken a dangerous turn, involving shadowy figures who operated far beyond the manicured boundaries of Beyond the Gates. Though Doug had tried to keep his troubles hidden, the truth was closing in, and someone had decided that his time was up. The identity of Doug's would-be killer remained a closely guarded secret, known only to a select few. Yet the weight of this knowledge hung heavy over the community, casting a pall over the usual vibrancy of September evenings. Was it a business rival seeking revenge? A betrayed friend nursing a grudge? Or perhaps someone closer to home, driven by motives too dark to fathom? The uncertainty gnawed at the residents, who began to look at their neighbors with suspicion, wondering who among them could harbor such malice. A romance across the divide. As if the marriage and the looming tragedy weren't enough, another story was unfolding on the fringes of Beyond the Gates. Vanessa, a vibrant young woman known for her artistic flair and free spirit, had found herself ensnared in a passionate romance with Joey Armstrong, a charismatic outsider who had recently arrived in town. Joey, with his tousled hair and easy smile, was a stark contrast to the buttoned-up residents of Beyond the Gates. His arrival had sparked curiosity, but his connection with Vanessa had raised eyebrows. Their romance, though intoxicating, was fraught with complications, as Joey's past was rumored to be as tangled as the vines that climbed the walls of Vanessa's garden studio. Vanessa's absence from the community during this turbulent time only fueled speculation. While her neighbors grappled with the fallout of Dany's wedding and Doug's impending doom, Vanessa was lost in a world of her own, swept away by Joey's promises of adventure and love. Their late-night rendezvous under the stars, filled with whispered confessions and stolen kisses, seemed to exist in a bubble untouched by the chaos of Beyond the Gates. But that bubble was about to burst. Jacob, a close friend of Vanessa's and a reluctant messenger, was tasked with delivering news that would shatter her idyllic escape. The nature of this news was a mystery even to those closest to the situation, but its weight was undeniable. Jacob, with his quiet demeanor and unwavering loyalty, dreaded the moment he would have to face Vanessa. He knew that whatever he had to tell her would change everything, not just for her, but for the entire community. As he prepared to track her down, Jacob wrestled with his own emotions, torn between his duty to deliver the truth and his desire to protect Vanessa from the pain it would bring. The emotional fallout. Amidst the chaos, two other residents of Beyond the Gates were grappling with their own turmoil. Bill and Haley, a couple whose steadfast presence had always been a source of comfort in the community, found themselves reeling from the emotional fallout of recent events. Their home, once a haven of laughter and warmth, had become a battleground of unspoken fears and unresolved tensions. But what exactly were they reacting to? Was it the shock of Dany's impulsive marriage, which had thrown the community into disarray? Or was it the specter of Doug's death, which loomed like a storm cloud over their lives? Perhaps it was something deeper, a private struggle that had been simmering beneath the surface, now brought to a boil by the events of September 25th. Bill, a stoic man who rarely let his emotions show, sat at the kitchen table, his hands clasped tightly around a mug of coffee that had long gone cold. Haley, usually the more expressive of the two, paced the room, her eyes red from tears she refused to acknowledge. Their conversations, once filled with plans for the future, had been reduced to halting exchanges, each word heavy with the weight of what they couldn't say. The events of the day had forced them to confront truths they had long avoided, and the cracks in their relationship were beginning to show. For Bill, the turmoil in Beyond the Gates was a painful reminder of his own past mistakes. He had once been close to Doug, and the rumors of his friend's impending death stirred memories he had buried deep. Haley, meanwhile, was haunted by her connection to Dany, whom she had mentored as a young girl. The news of Dany's marriage felt like a personal betrayal, a sign that she had failed to guide the young woman she loved like a daughter. Together, they navigated a maelstrom of grief, guilt, and uncertainty, unsure whether their bond would survive the storm. A community on the brink. As the sun set on September 25, 2025, Beyond the Gates was a community transformed. The once unshakable bonds between neighbors had been tested by secrets and scandals, and the future was anything but certain. Dany and Andre's marriage, Doug's impending death, Vanessa's romance, and the emotional struggles of Bill and Haley were not isolated incidents but threads in a larger tapestry of drama that threatened to unravel the very fabric of the community. Anita and Vernon continued their efforts to control the narrative, but the task grew more daunting with each passing hour. The whispers of Doug's death grew louder, and the identity of his killer remained a chilling enigma. Vanessa, blissfully unaware of the storm awaiting her, danced on the edge of a revelation that would change her life forever. And Jacob, burdened with his task, steeled himself for the moment he would have to shatter her world. In the midst of it all, Bill and Haley clung to each other, their love a fragile anchor in a sea of chaos. The stories of Beyond the Gates were not just tales of individual triumphs and tragedies, they were a testament to the resilience of a community pushed to its limits. As the night deepened, one thing was clear: the events of September 25 would leave scars that would not easily fade. For those who wish to delve deeper into the heart of this drama, a video capturing the raw emotion and shocking revelations of that night is available. It is a window into the lives of those who call Beyond the Gates home, a place where love can ignite in an instant, where secrets can kill, and where the truth, once revealed, can never be undone.